Hey, thanks for coming back. A short while ago, I promised that I would make a video explaining why I chose to get rid of my TASER C2. And this video has some backup data about that. So stay tuned. So regarding the TASER, or the TASER company, they created the, it's not a stun gun, but the projectile tool to help law enforcement have a less lethal option to apprehend someone rather than escalate the violence required to apprehend a suspect. And before going to lethal force. Now, what you should understand is that, as Nut and Fancy says, the philosophy of use was not for civilians. It was to help law enforcement apprehend without escalating violence and hurting both the officer and the person being apprehended. It was not intended for civilian use, and I'll explain why. What you also need to understand is that the standard operating procedure for use of any less lethal tool by law enforcement is you have the person with the less lethal tool and you have a person standing by with deadly force in case the less lethal doesn't work. I'll be showing you a graphic from the Los Angeles Police Department over the last 6 years. They've been studying the use of the TASER and TASER stun gun by their officers in the field. And it's not something that I would, let me say it this way. It explains why they have a lethal backup to its use. A civilian is not trying to apprehend anyone. What we're trying to do is avoid or get away from a serious attack where we think our life or physical well-being is at risk or that of another. So by the time things get to that point, our life is in danger. Our life is in danger. And we almost never have a backup person, someone else with lethal capability. We don't have that as civilians. When it happens to us, it happens immediately with extreme violence, and we have to be able to respond right now, and we have to eliminate the threat or stop the threat right away. Now, I have to say, the concept of having a tool in your hand that you can shoot some darts and not kill someone and drop them like a stunned bull was really attractive to me. As a matter of fact, I saw the TASER stun bull video. I went, God, man, that's pretty cool. But there was a nagging thing in the back of my head that said, man, something doesn't feel right. And I never carried the TASER tool without my firearm. And I started to feel that by the time something starts to happen to me, I don't have time to screw around with something that's going to shoot darts. And I might miss the distance because the civilian model has 15 feet of wire, which means you better shoot at 10 so that the darts don't go boink and not stick in anything. So that's pretty close. 10 feet is pretty close. So I basically stopped carrying it. And then I came across this study that I saw this morning from LAPD. Now, bottom line, The use of the tool works less than 60% of the time. Now, that doesn't mean that the technology doesn't work. What it means is that the result of the use of the technology is only effective less than 60% of the time, and in 2015 it was down to 53%. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to take a 50-50 chance on a particular tool and hope that it works, because if it doesn't, the civilian model, and you're alone, there's almost no reaction time. And the TASER training video tells you deploy and run the other way. So you really don't know if it worked. You're going to shoot the darts, hope you hit something, and run. Now, there are reasons why the effectiveness isn't what we would like, what I would like. A lot has to do, the darts only work through 2 inches from the outside to the skin. So in the wintertime, shoot your gun. If it's the guys sitting around a pool naked, okay, you probably got a good shot at having nice penetration. But even with that, people, and this is an LAPD study, I mean, people think they're going to get tased, and what they do is they turn, they can rip the darts out. If they're amped up on drugs or they have mental issues, they're not affected quite the same way. Bottom line is, do you want to risk your life, the life of loved ones of the innocent, with something that's 50-50? I don't think so. I don't think so. But if you want to spend $350, $400 on a tool like that, you know, that you're a grown-ass person. You get to do that if you want to. Now, for those people that live in those states that pretty much disarm you in public, and some in your house, having something is better than nothing. But should that something be a thing that maybe 50% of the time is going to be effective for you? Or should it be something else? I can't answer that for you. Fortunately, I live in a state where we now have constitutional carry, so life is good. If you're not a crook and you can buy a firearm, you can carry it anywhere you want, anytime you want, any way you want. So is something better than nothing? That's for you to answer. So check out the link to the story that came out of the LA Times, and the graphic is in that story, so you're free to check that out too. You get to use your critical thinking skills. Just saying. Thanks for watching. Carry on.